You don't dignify or respect a person when you lie to that person, or when you continue the lie that someone is actually a woman while he is actually a man. We should sacrifice real females, but the people that claim to be loving, they are actually the hateful ones, because they force us, but also that person, to accept their mental illness and, you know, feel like they're courageous. You're like, oh, you're such a courageous human being, because you believe the mental illness that you have. So you believe that you're actually a female while you are a man. And again, it is not loving to accept that notion. It is actually hateful, because you're destroying a person. What is actually loving is that, and earlier he said that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. You know, that is obvious, but it's a new phenomenon that we suddenly think differently about these things. And why is that? The reason is that, so it's extremist to think that males should stay out of the female places. So female bathrooms should stay female. So female bathrooms shouldn't be used by males. That sounds so white supremacist. Don't oppose that which was unnatural just 10 years ago and now normalized by the mainstream media. You shouldn't oppose transgenders or trans females, trans women. Women are women, whatever that means. We should just accept everything from these people that find it normal to have male genitalia in female spaces, that think it's normal that a 54-year-old man is in a bathroom with your daughter and my daughter, and if you disagree, then you're some kind of transphobe. So don't be guilty of that, or else we will label you, we will take away your job, your income, we will make life impossible for you, and we still claim that we are the moral ones, we still claim that you're the fascist, and we are the people that protect human rights, except the people that are females, actual females, and the babies in the wombs of the mothers to abortion that are being killed. But we are the people that are righteous, you know, we are the good ones, and you're bad because you oppose us. And because we run mainstream media, then we can use the mainstream media just as the fascists, Nazis did and communists did. We can use that against you, and we can call you what we actually are. You know, we are the fascists, but we claim that you are the fascist. So that's how we're going to rule this, that's how we're going to run this. And if you disagree, then we're going to get you. What? Is that normal? Is that the society that we live in today? Is that the society that we should advocate for, that we should want in society? That when you oppose males in female spaces, then you are a transphobe, you are some hater? What? What happened to society that we suddenly think this way? Suddenly we see people like you see in this video with the reporter that actually thinks that he's doing a good thing, that he is advocating, he's supporting a person that deserves dignity and respect. Yes, he deserves dignity and respect, but we don't dignify him or give him respect when we claim that he is a female while he is a male. We don't respect him, nor do we respect the girls in the bathrooms. You know, the little girls in the bathroom that are not safe because there's a man there, literally male with male body parts, that is using the female bathrooms, and by that we make life harder, more difficult, unsafe for females, while they claim that they are for females, the female right, women's rights, feminism, all those labels. They claim that they advocate for those things, but then I am the bad guy because I oppose that, and I actually want to protect females. I want to protect my wife and my daughter. But I'm the bad one. I'm against women's rights. Nope, you are. You and the Democrat mainstream media, you're against females. You're against so many people, but in this case, against women in general. Because you want males to act and play, to take a women face on and just pretend that they are females, and you force us to believe that they are actual females. But that goes against science, against our beliefs, against what Christianity teaches us, even what Islam teaches us. But we have to throw it all away and just allow your worldview to run. And if you oppose them, then they will throw you out any way that they can. They can destroy your career, destroy you in any way that they can. Is that normal? Is that what? Do you agree with that? Well, if you do agree with that, then I think you're dangerous and we're gonna have a difficult time. But before I go on, let's listen to the reporter and Nancy Mace, if I'm correct.
The question is, with your piece of legislation about banning women from using...
100% yes.
My question to you is...
And it doesn't go far enough. I'll be filing more bills.
You have said that it was created in response to Congresswoman-elect McBride.
100%. And
but should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
It doesn't mention anyone in the legislation, but
you've said it was aimed at her.
No, I have said it's a result of this. I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no. I'm not going to stand for it. And the speaker said it would be in the House rules package. If it's not, I will be ready with a motion, a privileged motion to force a vote on this. This is not okay. I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And I'm not going to allow any man in any female private spaces.
Now, Speaker,
end of story. And by the way, I'm getting death threats from men pretending to be women. Why is it that these crazy people, the insanity, the radical left, are willing to kill women over a man's right to be in a women's restroom?
Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect. Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that dignity and respect?
Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect. And I'm absolutely going to stand in the way of anyone who thinks it's okay for a man to be in our locker room, in our changing rooms, in our dressing rooms, in women's bathrooms. And in fact, if you agree with that, you're crazy. Because that's not okay. It's not okay.
Congressman, thank you, Congressman. We're going to peel away from this conversation, Kira. So a little bit of the context of what we were just talking about, and I'm going to have my cameraman step out of the active driveway here, was that Nancy Mace put forward this piece of legislation. It was aimed, she said, although the name is not in the legislation, at a new member of Congress, Sarah McBride of Delaware, who is a transgender woman. She has said that the legislation would prevent women from using male restrooms and vice versa in the United States Capitol. Speaker Johnson has said, he made a statement earlier today where he said he believes, a quote, man is a man and woman is a woman, but he also called for, as you heard me ask the congressman, about dignity and respect for new members of Congress, and that would include this new member of Congress, Sarah McBride from Delaware, who is a transgender woman. All of that to say, this is now an issue that Congress is forced to grapple with here, and one that they've never been forced to grapple with before, because Sarah McBride is the first trans person elected to the United States House of Representatives, and it's very much unclear at this hour what Mike Johnson plans to do, although Nancy Mace is under the impression that her resolution or something of the like will now go into the new House of Representatives rules package, which would theoretically be voted on and approved by the next Congress come January.
Briefing that
the way these people label these topics. Did you notice the language of the reporter? He constantly said that Sarah McBride, I think his name is Timmy, but we will see that later, that he is actually a transgender woman. So he is enforcing the idea that that guy is actually a woman. So Tim is actually Sarah, and we have to oblige that thought, that notion, or else we are doing something wrong. That is the notion that leftists have nowadays. And they use the words dignity and respect. They use those words, but they don't know what it means. You don't dignify or respect a person when you lie to that person, or when you continue the lie that someone is actually a woman while he is actually a man. It is not respectful to knowingly lie to a person that while he is a man, you help his thought, his current mental illness, by saying that he is a woman. That is wrong. That is not helpful. Why do people think that that is a good thing to do? Do we actually think the same way about other issues, like when you think that you should become blind, let's help the person to become blind? Nope. Or when someone says that he should cut off his hand because he should live as an amputee, is that what we should do? Of course not. But that is the notion that we are being forced upon nowadays, that we should sacrifice real females from people that have mental illnesses. And it doesn't mean that we should beat them up or disrespect them or be bad against them. No, we should always treat them with respect and dignity, because they are made and created by God in God's image. And we should love people. But loving people isn't enforcing a certain belief that they have that is actually wrong. And what is wrong is that a man cannot be a woman. It is not hateful. It is hateful to say, yes, you are a woman. That is hateful. But the people that claim to be loving, they are actually the hateful ones, because they force us, but also that person, to accept their mental illness and, you know, feel like they are a strong human being. They are courageous. You're like, oh, you're such a courageous human being, because you believe the mental illness that you have. So you believe that you're actually a female while you are a man. And again, it is not loving to accept that notion, to spread that notion in the person. It is actually hateful, because you're destroying a person. What is actually loving is that you tell them, no, you are not a woman, you're a man. And we want to help you in your mental illness. You're not worse than me, I'm not better than you, but there is something wrong in your thought, and maybe also in your feelings, and not your body, but you like your feelings, what you think about your body or what you feel about your body. And we can change that. But what we see nowadays is that so many people can earn a lot of money from this, and what they are doing is that they enforce that idea and they want that person to destroy him or herself. And that is actually hateful. And we have no other option to stand against that notion, to stand against that idea, because we actually love people and we want the best for them. And chopping off your body parts or allowing that thought that you have that you're actually something else that is running rampant through your brain, to your mind, to your body, we should help that person overcome that. That is actually love and not hate. But it is like we live in idiocracy, like the movie in 2006. Everything is reversed. Actually, loving a person is being labeled as hateful, while actually hating that person, destroying that person, is called love and being tolerant. It's like the reverse. It's insanity that is openly spread nowadays, and we have no other option than to oppose that. That being said, let's go back to the video. The reporter said that Senator Johnson said something about this. Let's listen to what Senator Johnson said about this.
Hello, everybody. I just want to make a statement for all of you here and be very clear. I was asked a question this morning at the leadership gaggle, and I rejected the premise because the answer is so obvious. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman. That said, I also believe, that's what Scripture teaches, what I just said, but I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity. And so we can do and believe all those things at the same time. And I wanted to make that clear for everybody because there's lots of questions. But that's where I stand. I've stood there my whole life, and those are facts.
Well said. Those are facts indeed. And he said that, yeah, we should definitely treat people with dignity and respect. I totally agree with them. Although they would label us and they would make life impossible for us, we still have to treat them good, respect them, and hold them in such a high regard. And earlier he said that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. You know, that is obvious, but it's a new phenomenon that we suddenly think differently about these things. And why is that? The reason is that people believe in evolution and people believe in that God created mankind in a certain way. So Christianity teaches us that God created mankind in males and in females, while the people that believe in evolution, especially atheists, they believe that we evolved into this state. But that means that we can evolve even further, and these people don't mind when a person, in this case a male, thinks that he is a female and he goes and taking over female spaces, because they would label this as the evolution of man into such a state that males and females are being destroyed, they're being erased, that in the future they believe that males and females don't exist anymore. We just have mankind that reproduce in some other way via technology, I guess. But that is because they believe in evolution. And that is the problem that we see nowadays. The problem that we see in the West in general is that we have a battle of worldviews, a battle of cultures, a battle of ideas. And it has to do with theology. Do we believe that God exists and that God created mankind into males and females? Or do we believe in evolution? Again, you have to believe something. You believe in evolution, that mankind has been involved into this state and we evolve even further into whatever we evolve in. That is the battle that we are in and we cannot escape it. And that battle will create so much more chaos and problems in the future. And eventually one of those ideas, one of those worldviews needs to prevail over the other, because you cannot live with each other. Because when this person says that no, males and females don't exist, whatever I feel like or evolved in, that is reality, and the other said no, we believe in males and females and we should be separate, we should protect females and we should hold men accountable, then that will result in a conflict. Let's hope it wouldn't result in a conflict of violence, but history tells us something different. But with these people that oppose reality, and I would say that they force a certain religion, in this case it's atheism, and they call us like, oh, it's not religion. Well, you have to believe so many things to be an atheist. It becomes a worldview, it becomes a religion. Eventually you have a battle of worldviews, that's maybe better said. It's a battle of worldviews, and one of them will prevail, and I'm afraid that the other will be destroyed. And I would say that I'm afraid that Christianity will be destroyed, because I don't think that Christianity will destroy atheism. They will still allow atheists to believe whatever they believe, to spread a certain belief system around, but there are boundaries. Like, you cannot cross those boundaries, like the boundary of males and females. We will see what happens in the future, but let's hope people will stay in communication with each other instead of that they use violence, because we don't want violence to happen around the world, especially in the West, where we cannot see the consequences of a big war. But let's hope that will not come to pass. Let's go to another video of Nancy Mace, where she speaks into the camera and talks about this issue.
The radical left is calling me an extremist for being a feminist, fighting to protect the rights of women and girls. If being a feminist makes me an extremist or a bigot or a monster, I am totally here for it, because I'm going to fight like hell for every woman and every little girl across this country to protect you and keep you safe.
Wow, Nancy Mace, amazing. So Nancy Mace tells us that she would dedicate her work in Congress to protect females, to protect women, old and young, from this intrusive worldview that want us to believe that males can be females and females can be males. And she would do anything as a feminist, self-proclaimed feminist. I'm not totally in favor of feminism for so many reasons, but in the future you will hear about that. But she calls herself a feminist, and she thinks that, or she says that, if being called an extremist or as a feminist, if you fight for females that are being replaced or being unsafe, then she is all for the job. She's all up for the task. She's not afraid to fight that battle. And I commend her for that. I think she's a brave woman, a gifted woman, and she is actually protecting females. So that's impressive. And I think people should support her in that. And it's so strange that males are fighting her as a female, because they want her to believe, and us to believe, that the males that are actually threatening her, that they are females. So strange. It's like insanity is happening right now in the West. We have to believe certain things. Thank God Trump won, because let's hope some sanity will come back to the United States of America. So let's look at the last video about Nancy Mace, where she talks to another reporter about this issue.
That being a feminist makes me an extremist. I'm totally here for it.
Is this effort in response to Congressman McBride coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
On this resistance.
Impressive. So Nancy Mace is a rape survivor. She still has to deal with that. She still has PTSD because of that happening, about that crime that happened to her, about that horrific action by a man that violated her, and that man should be punished in the most severe way, because you don't do that. You have to protect females. But if you say these things, then you have to further the line into saying and to protecting women when we talk about bathrooms. There should be places that are totally safe for females, and in this case we're talking about bathrooms. It's never hateful to say that we should oppose males if they want to go into female spaces, in this case bathrooms. It is not hateful, it is loving for females. So instead of focusing on hatred, we're focusing on love. We do this and we oppose this because we love females, we love women, and we have a duty, a responsibility, and a desire to protect them. We're not saying that every transgender is a predator. We don't believe that, and we don't stand for that notion. But we do know that predators will abuse the notion of transgenderism, and they will infiltrate that movement and come into female spaces and make those female spaces unsafe. It's our responsibility to oppose that. It's our duty to stand against that, because we need to protect females. We need to protect our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, our nieces, our grandmothers. We have the responsibility for that. So the reason is all about love. It is not about hatred, it's about love. And I hope you see the same in Nancy Mace. She is a woman that is motivated by love, the love to protect other females. She doesn't want any harm coming to other females. So she was violated. She still has PTSD, but she doesn't want that for other females. She wants other females to be protected. And she stands against the notion of males going into female spaces. Although the males can feel that they are females, but they are actually males. They have male body parts and they are in their DNA, they are males. So for Nancy Mace, it's all about protection. Protection for the vulnerable, for the weak. And in this case, we're talking about females. They are vulnerable, they are weak in this way, that they have safe spaces. But if those safe spaces, their private spaces, if they are being invaded by males, people that have male body parts in their DNA are males, then we remove the safety net, the safe spaces for females. And she's totally right. We should oppose that, and we should put laws in place that causes that males go to male rooms and females go to female rooms. Whatever you feel or whatever you think about yourself, you still have your DNA, your body type, your body parts, and that shows us that you're either male or either a female, and that is what we should stand for. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't respect people, we shouldn't dignify them. No, they have dignity. We should treat them with dignity and respect. We should see them as valuable human beings that are being created by God. So you don't oppose them in that way, but you oppose certain ideas, just as other people would oppose certain ideas that I have. That's normal. But when ideas goes against the safety of whole groups, and in this case we talk about females, then we have to stand and proudly say that we support the defense of females, and we should never allow males into safe places like bathrooms for females. It's not loving to accept males going to female spaces. Going back to Nancy Mace, she's an example for other females. She's a strong, powerful leader in this case, and she will not stop until she has fulfilled this purpose that she has, and that is to protect females from any harm that came to her. But she, in a way, overcame that, although she still has PTSD, and it's incredible that she still is working in Congress and, have to adapt to that environment, that hostile environment, all those reporters coming so close to her, you know, that would definitely do something to her. But she's still standing strong and she's fighting for females. And that is an example for other women how to be. And I commend her for that. She's a powerful, strong woman, and I see that she's fighting the good cause. But then she said something about feminism. I don't agree with her take on feminism. I don't think that is actually good for females. But I do think that she uses that in a good way. She defines feminism in a different way than I do. I guess so. And she is all about protecting females. And in that case, of course, I agree with her notion if that is her view on feminism. But I would say that I want to push females into flourishing in their femininity. That is what it's all about. We want females to flourish in their feminine nature, into their femininity, so that they can be women as they are meant to be, so that the best will come out, because they are built, they are created that way. They are created as females. They can do certain things that males cannot do. Women can do things that males cannot do, what I cannot do. And that is why I believe that females should flourish in their femininity, in their female nature. That is what is actually good for females. And in order to do that, we have to protect certain places or spaces specifically for females, so that we have places that are actually safe for females. That being said, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot about Nancy Mace and even support her. My name is Aaron, this was Arentainment, and I see you in the next video. Bye for now.